life with Grandma Bev. And we are on our last day of driving. Day 3, right? 3? I'm all mixed up.
You should count the day for you and
Day 4. It's the last one till we get home. We are so anxious, especially Callie, though we cannot complain about her at all. She's even used her little litter box put inside her kennel thing, so she's just been perfect. I would expect no less of her. Did you see the 2 short videos that I posted last night? Check those out. You see how she was doing in the room in Vegas. Well, right now, what's the temperature, hon? 48 degrees. So, needless to say, I have long sleeves and long pants on today. Bob's got just a long sleeve sweatshirt. He'll end up taking off probably. So, I can't tell you how excited we are to get back home, get everything unloaded, and know that we're not going to have to get up and leave in the morning. So, let's see, last night we ended up eating dinner at Applebee's and ate it all. I mean, we were hungry. What else do I need to add? Callie, you have anything to say? No? Did you hear? She always answers me. She doesn't have anything to say. So, let you go, and I'll come back on when we get to anywhere that you might be interested in seeing. Well, we've been on the road about 2.5 hours now. We're at a rest stop. And we are just about to Portland. So my plan is I'm going to come back on when we're going through Portland. And then when we cross over the bridge into Washington, I'll tell you the story of Callie's meltdown. That was interesting. Otherwise, everything's going fine. We're just sailing away here. And nice looking guy just walked by. But you can see we're back among the trees. A little hazy out in the sky, so I didn't try to show you Mount Hood because you couldn't really see it. So it looks like Bob's heading back, so I will put you back on hold, and I'll come back on when we're going through Portland. Well, as promised, back on going through the mishmash of Portland. This is always what I consider a nerve-wracking spot. I should turn this so you can see more of what's going on there. often make noise she does not like. At the 3-hour mark of driving, and once we get into Washington, we'll have about 3 more hours till we get home. And we are all ready. So often I spot a little homeless person with their little encampment built up on the side of the hill. Not as much as right after COVID, though. You can see the traffic the other way. It's always that way when we come through with when we used to come through with the motorhome. Always bumper to bumper. COVID. Now, during COVID, in 2020, the first year of it, when we came home from Yuma, we came through here on a Sunday morning, and there was absolutely nobody on the road. It was such a difference to see. We would go through so much of a hassle trying to go through here. Yeah, we've got a sign up here flashing, it's an Amber Alert. And Bob's phone went off in the middle of the night about the Amber Alert. Scared the heck out of us when all of a sudden this loud siren-y kind of sound went off. Takes you a minute to realize what it is. I at first thought, was it a fire alarm or something in the hotel? It's an Amber Alert. I'm actually able to catch a glimpse of Mount St. Helens off to my right, but I'm not really in a position to where I can try to show you. Usually whenever I go through here, I never can see the mountain. Keep your eyes, you might be able to spot it off to the right as we go over the bridge. Now this is the bridge that takes us into Washington. So we are leaving Oregon. Here we go. time we were driving about an hour into the trip, and all of a sudden she just started meowing, which, you know, she does that. And, but she wouldn't stop. And it'd get louder, and her tone would change, and she started banging against the walls of the carrier. And of course, it's not a solid wall, solid carrier. And so she was almost making the whole thing fall on the floor behind us, which luckily it's loaded with little pieces of luggage and stuff. And she just kept it up and kept it up. And finally we were getting worried because she sounded so desperate. So we thought, well, maybe there's something wrong in the cage. Who knows? So we decided to get off an off ramp and check it out. So Bob had to remove everything that's sitting behind me out to this little parking lot, so he could climb in there to see what was going on. And we decided, maybe we should give her some of that medication. Maybe she's just reached her limit. And so he got in the back seat, which isn't a whole lot of room, and there's nothing wrong inside the kennel. He's trying to get a hold of her so he could squirt a little bit of the medicine in her mouth, and of course he was having to do it from one corner of the kennel, because if you put the whole zipper thing down, she could have gotten out. Well, she would have no part of that. So finally we thought, okay, well, we checked it out. There's nothing wrong back there. Just like, when a baby's crying, you're trying to figure out, check the diaper and offer him a little bit of food. So we put everything back in the car, got back on the freeway. We did not hear another word. So I think it was just her finally acting like a feline instead of a human. Just had enough and wanted to see her daddy for a minute. So that was the story of Callie's meltdown. She's horrified that I'm telling you. What can I say? Okay, so we are going to go up as far as Tacoma, Washington. I may come on when we're going through Olympia, which is the capital city. Oh, and I'm seeing Mount St. Helens over to the right, so I may remove you from the dash cam at some point, show you Mount St. Helens. And for those of you who aren't familiar, that's the one that volcano that took off back in 1980. And I heard it way up where I lived. So it's quite a big thing. The mountain was a big thing. It's not as big. So we'll be getting out to an area that's not as many buildings around. And we're going through Vancouver, Washington right now. Well, I don't think it's going to work. You can see what's on the side here. It's all kind of, a berm, like a little uphill, and then trees all around. So we're not going to get a good look at the mountain today. Oh, well, I tried. So my little holder for you that's normally up there came crashing down when I took this off of it to try to get the mountain. So I'm going to be holding you in my hand. So I'll come back on when we're going through Olympia. And we are now coming into Olympia, Washington, which is the capital of Washington. You can see above those trees up there. You can see the top of the state capitol, the dome. We had a little bit of a slowdown because they were having traffic merge into one lane for a while back on the freeway, and it starts getting busy, heading to Seattle City. Just kind of a big mishmash. We're going to get off of here pretty soon. We're going to take Highway 16 over to the area where we live. Let's see. It's showing it yet. Oh yeah, there it is. 1 mile. Yay! Then I'll feel like we're really getting close to home. I don't know how well you can see that. Let me see if I fix this closer. So see the freeway. Keep adjusting this. I get a chuckle out of Mr. Bob. He's probably going to be so glad that we're home. He doesn't have to sit and listen to me do these crazy videos. When they were redoing this whole interchange up here. What a mess that was. As you could probably gather, I don't like Tacoma. Here we go. Back up over the overpass. Seat here, so she could probably pick up in the excitement in our mood as we're getting closer to home. Oh, that center part, was that a carpool thing? Oh, something new every time I come through here. Turn you back off again until we get around the Narrows Bridge. And just around the bend, here it comes. There it is, almost. There it is. Tacoma Narrows Bridge. We're going on the original. Let's see. The original one, which is known as Galloping Gertie. Years ago, I don't know if you've ever seen any videos or pictures of this bridge just swaying in the wind. She got to be known as Galloping Gertie. This used to be very scary to go across with the motorhome before they built the other bridge. And we had 2 lanes each direction. The water. You can't see it, but I can. from there. So we'll leave this on for a while. I might not say anything. I do have a correction. I misled you when we went over the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. That was not Galloping Gertie. That was the replacement for her. You know, she. So the Galloping Gertie, when it was galloping around, fell down into the water. So, in case you're wondering, I stand corrected. I gotta tell you though, it feels good to be home. Even though we weren't real anxious to leave Yuma yet. A lot of it's because of the long drive home. But we were gone 7 months this time, so we're not usually gone that long. So as we go along here, I read the signs to see if there's any new ones up, you know, what's changed since we've been gone. So far, I don't see anything different. It's about 1:30, so we thought we'd be home by around 2 o'clock, and we're making it. So it will take us 6 hours from Roseburg, Oregon to get to home. Have anything to add to the conversation, Grandpa Bob, before I get off? Nope, no, he shook his head no. And a few words. Of course, you're thinking, well, how can he say anything? How can you get a word in edgewise when you're always flapping your mouth? No, he's a good guy. He's a good driver. I know I can count on him to always get us safely back and forth. You know, but this is the first time that this car has driven back all the way from Yuma to home, because it was always towed behind our motorhome. So it's actually got some miles on it during this trip. You know, we were a little apprehensive, wondering how it would go with the kitty cat. And, you know, except for that one little meltdown she had today for a half hour, she did very good. We're very happy with her. I'm really anxious to see her reaction though when we bring her in the house. She gets loose. Sure, she'll be running up and down the hallway. We have a big, wide, long hallway. When we get there, we'll get all her stuff in the house and set up, and then the rest of our stuff in, and then Bob will go back out. We would need to resupply the house, so he'll come back into the town of Silverdale where Costco is and pick up stuff there, and then head back home and go to Walmart because we have no groceries in the house. Now as we come around the bend here, it's Silverdale, which is where we originally moved to when we moved to this side of Puget Sound. And it has grown a lot, too much. Huge hospital up on the side of the hill. So at least that's closer. It used to be down in Bremerton, but now it's about halfway between Bremerton and I'd say our house, Bainbridge Island, somewhere like that. Of course, in here is where I come quite often when I'm referred to. I'm going to town. This is town I mean. When I do my ride-alongs with me. So I'm going to get off again. As soon as we are getting up close to the house, I'll come on. Well, we made it. We're just about home. We are off the freeway, finally. And we're just kind of checking things out, see if anything new has gone in since we've been gone. So far, nothing. So I guess that's good. But I do want to take the opportunity to thank you all for following my channel and following our little drive down and back. So I never know how things, how big things are going to go over if you're going to feel like watching them. And you haven't let me down. So, like I was saying earlier, this was our first trek back and forth in the car. And of course now we're stuck with it. Motorhome's gone. So, the way to see when the videos with my daughter Michelle and I in them, because I know a lot of you are anxious to see Michelle because you also follow her, but she hasn't been doing her videos. Hit the subscribe button for me, and that way you'll be notified when we're posted together. I think we did two or three videos. I can't remember now. I mean, it was the other day. So again, I really appreciate it. Make your comments and stay tuned, because as soon as I get myself set up back in the house, we'll be recording from home again. So watch for the videos of Michelle and I. Hope you've enjoyed this trip. I love you all. Bye.